The Indiana Fever were expected to build their entire future around Caitlin Clark. That was the plan from the beginning. You draft a once-in-a-generation superstar, put the ball in her hands, and allow her to lead the franchise into a new era. But lately, many fans feel like something else is happening behind the scenes. More and more people are questioning whether the Fever are truly giving Caitlin the freedom and support she deserves. If you're a real Caitlin Clark fan, type CC 100% in the comments and show support for one of the biggest stars in women's basketball.
Stephanie White needs to pack her bags and hit the bricks immediately.
We've got opportunities to play through Maisha and Didi in the same way that we do AB, especially in the quarter court. So we need to take advantage of that.
Ignoring Caitlin Clark, running into Caitlin Clark.
You have Caitlin Clark, the best player in the world, easily the best point guard. And you are talking about running the offense through Maisha Hines-Allen and Damiris Dantas.
Stephanie White, what the fuck is your definition of playing through?
What do you mean run the offense through Damiris Dantas? She shouldn't even be getting real minutes. The lady can't move.
They're not even trying to disguise it now. They hate CC and are trying to minimize her to make her look just like any other player.
After Stephanie White's latest remarks, the backlash has completely erupted. Just when fans believed Caitlin Clark was finally being given full control of the Fever offense, Stephanie White stepped up to the microphone and said something that instantly set social media on fire. Instead of confirming that the offense would continue running through Caitlin Clark, she began discussing plans to shift more half-court responsibilities toward players like Maisha Hines-Allen and Dantas as replacements for DeWanna Bonner's role. For Fever fans already frustrated with the team's direction, those comments felt like another sign that Clark still isn't being fully trusted to lead the offense the way.
Caitlin Clark is about to be sabotaged today, and Stephanie White is primed and prepped to do everything she can to ice and freeze out Caitlin Clark. She does not want her to continue to be on a tear.
With AB out, did Steph White really say they should play through Dantas and Maisha in the half court? Her obsession with not playing through Caitlin is insane.
She has no imagination, no knowledge. We all know she doesn't draw up plays. She doesn't coach. She's a figurehead. She's a rah-rah.
And the moment those comments started spreading online, the reaction exploded instantly. Fans were shocked, confused, and furious because everyone kept asking the same question. How do you have one of the best young point guards in basketball and still keep taking the ball out of her hands? That's where the frustration is coming from. It's not about doubting what players like Maisha Hines-Allen can bring to the team. It's not about role players contributing. The real issue is that the Fever look completely different when Caitlin Clark is allowed to fully play her style of basketball. Fast tempo, transition offense, deep threes, quick reads, creative passing. That's the game that made her the biggest star in women's basketball. And lately, whenever Clark starts building momentum, fans feel like the offense suddenly shifts back into a slower half-court system that doesn't fully take advantage of what makes her special.
Stephanie White wants her Alyssa Thomas. She wants her unimaginative, ineffective, plotting WNBA crappy offense that does nothing for anyone.
Even analysts have started noticing how different the Fever look when Caitlin Clark shifts into full attack mode. During stretches where she stops hesitating and simply takes over, Indiana suddenly looks far more dangerous. The ball moves quicker, spacing opens up, the energy inside the arena completely changes, and most importantly, Caitlin looks comfortable and confident running the offense. That's why Stephanie White's comments struck such a nerve with fans. Many people didn't hear strategy, they heard limitation. They heard a coach still trying to fit a completely different basketball identity onto a player who has already proven she can lead an elite offense at the highest level. And this frustration has been building for weeks. Fans have pointed to possessions where Caitlin gives the ball up early and barely touches it again. Moments where the offense slows into post-entry basketball while one of the league's most dynamic offensive creators stands off ball watching the play develop. Even former players and commentators have questioned why Indiana sometimes seems hesitant to fully unleash Clark as the primary engine of the offense every trip down the floor. Now, those conversations are getting even louder because many Fever fans feel like the team is holding back its biggest advantage. This is a player who shattered scoring records in college, led the nation in assists multiple times, and instantly transformed attention around the WNBA the moment she arrived. Attendance exploded. TV ratings skyrocketed. Merchandise sales surged. Every arena fills up when Caitlin Clark comes to town. Every network wants her games. Every headline follows her. So fans are asking why there are still moments where Indiana appears committed to a conservative system instead of building everything around her strengths. You can even sense the tension growing during recent games. Clark has looked more aggressive, more willing to demand the ball, and more determined to push the tempo herself. It almost feels like she's trying to take control of the offense in real time. Because when she attacks early in the shot clock, the Fever suddenly become explosive. But when the game slows into long, half-court possessions, Indiana starts looking predictable again. And now some fans are starting to wonder something bigger. Is Caitlin Clark finally getting frustrated with the situation? Social media erupted after Stephanie White's comments. Some fans accused the team of misusing its biggest star, while others argued Indiana is failing to maximize the most exciting player in women's basketball. As the pressure continues to build, the spotlight on Stephanie White is only getting hotter, especially if the Fever continues struggling while Clark spends stretches playing off the ball instead of fully controlling the offense.
Whether she hates her or not, she is doing things that make Caitlin Clark less effective. She is doing things that make the team less effective.
You can play your ugly-ass Connecticut's on offense when Caitlin is on the bench resting. When Cece is in, get the fuck out of her way and let her cook.
And this is where the situation becomes a serious issue for the Indiana Fever, because now it goes beyond basketball strategy. It's turning into a perception problem. More and more fans are beginning to believe the organization still doesn't fully understand what it has in Caitlin Clark. And once that perception starts growing, things can escalate quickly. You can already see signs of it online. Conversations about attendance, discussions around ticket demand in certain matchups, fans openly saying they're showing up to watch Caitlin Clark specifically, not necessarily because of loyalty to the Fever brand itself. That's a risky position for any franchise. Because whether people want to admit it or not, Caitlin Clark changed the league the moment she arrived. TV ratings exploded. Road arenas sold out. Jersey sales skyrocketed. National media attention reached another level. The WNBA became impossible to ignore. And yet many fans still watch Indiana games feeling like the offense is trying to turn Clark into a traditional system point guard instead of fully unleashing her as a generational offensive weapon. That's the disconnect fueling so much frustration right now. The evidence feels obvious to fans watching the games. When Clark pushes the tempo, defenses panic. When she attacks in transition, the floor opens up. When she starts firing from deep range, entire defensive schemes suddenly collapse. And when she plays aggressively from the opening minutes, Indiana often looks like a completely different team. But then there are stretches where the offense slows down, the ball sticks, and Clark spends possessions standing off ball while role players initiate actions. That's when frustration boils over for many supporters. Because fans aren't asking for reckless hero ball, they're asking the team to maximize its greatest strength. And lately, some fans believe Clark herself understands that too. People point to her body language, the quick pull-up threes, the aggressive drives, and the moments where she grabs a rebound and immediately pushes the pace before the defense can get set. To many viewers, it almost feels like she's sending a quiet message through her style of play. This is when the team is at its best. To her credit, Caitlin Clark has handled the situation professionally. She hasn't publicly criticized coaches or blamed teammates. She continues saying the right things in interviews. But fans have started reading between the lines, especially during moments where she appears visibly frustrated in games or during timeouts. That's why Stephanie White's comments added even more fuel to the debate. Once fans heard talk about running offense through other options, instead of emphasizing more control for Clark, social media immediately erupted. Some supporters even began comparing the situation to other sports franchises that struggled early on to properly build around generational talent. Nobody is saying Caitlin Clark wants out, and nobody is claiming there's chaos behind the scenes. But many fans are now arguing that if Indiana truly wants to become a championship contender, the franchise eventually has to build its identity fully around Clark's strengths, her pace, creativity, shooting range, and ability to control games offensively. Because the reality is, many people believe the basketball world still hasn't seen the fully unleashed version of Caitlin Clark yet. Not consistently, not every possession, not with complete offensive freedom, and that possibility is exactly why emotions are running so high right now. Fans don't want to see Clark reduced to a cautious system player. They want to see the superstar who transformed women's basketball, given complete freedom to dominate games her way. After Stephanie White's latest comments, one thing is clear. The pressure surrounding the Indiana Fever is only getting bigger.